what they say in white films. White films go all over the world. Because I remember The Godfather, and I won't forget when they had the drug scene and they said, well, we don't do that.
His legacy will live forever. He did everything from Richard Pryor's show to Chapelle show. He's one of the first black people ever in the Writers Guild. Paul Mooney will be sorely missed. And only other legends would understand. You're the best. You're one of the greatest comedians I've ever seen in any era, and you're my hero.
Renowned comedy legend Dave Chapelle openly discussed an individual with a distinct position in the history of comedy. Paul Mooney, a comedian who not only pushed the limits of humor, but also courageously unveiled the uncomfortable realities of racism in both Hollywood and society, stands as a figure deserving of his place in historical recognition, and Chapelle is out to give him his flowers.
Paul Mooney will be sorely missed and wildly remembered. I'll see to that.
Following Mooney's passing in May 2021, Chapelle spoke to TMZ, offering heartfelt praise for the departed comedian. "The best that ever did it passed away today," he said. "His legacy will live forever. He did everything from the Richard Pryor show to the Chapelle show. He was one of the first black people ever in the Writers Guild of America. Paul Mooney will be sorely missed and wildly remembered. I'll see to that." Chapelle's all about keeping Mooney's legacy alive, right? But guess what? Hollywood's supposedly not on board with that. Let's find out why, coming up. After Paul Mooney's passing, tons of comedians and actors in Hollywood have been sharing their thoughts. In the middle of all the tributes, some shocking revelations and controversies have popped up, making the whole story pretty complicated. But it seems like we're slowly figuring out the mystery behind all these events. In the world of legendary comedians, Paul Mooney is a standout luminary. He wasn't just about making people laugh, he boldly tackled the tough issues of racism and discrimination with his comedic brilliance. Mooney was a trailblazer, always pushing Hollywood and not holding back and calling it out for racism and colorism. He fearlessly used his platform to address these crucial matters.
Hollywood likes you in a certain way. They like you a certain way. They have Hollywood's interesting. They like you a certain way when you're black.
Paul Mooney's legacy in the heart of Hollywood unravels like a mesmerizing and intricate tale, diving deep into the entertainment industry's underbelly. It exposes both the charm of Hollywood and its shadowy undercurrents. The comedian, who sadly passed away in 2021 from a heart attack, has left fans speculating about the circumstances of his death. Some are wondering if it was a natural cause or if something more suspicious was at play. Why the skepticism, you ask? Well, Mooney had a reputation for fearlessly speaking his mind. With his bold attitude, he didn't shy away from exposing Hollywood's secrets. Mooney made it a habit to call out the darker aspects of the glamorous world of celebrities, and people are curious if that played a role in the mysteries surrounding his departure.
A lot of are scared. You gonna get us in trouble. No emotion, no reaction.
For more than 3 decades, Mooney's unique position, orbiting around the iconic Richard Pryor, not only gave him a front-row seat, but also an insider's pass to the inner sanctum of Tinseltown. In this distinctive role, he witnessed the unsavory sides of racism, power dynamics, and disloyalty lurking beneath the veneer of glitz and glamour. Personality-wise, Paul Mooney was often seen as cocky, straightforward, sharp-tongued, and rude. Interestingly, Mooney himself admitted that his comedy drew inspiration from his own life experiences. His bold and unapologetic approach to shining a light on the industry's shadows has left an indelible mark on Hollywood's narrative. In a revealing 2008 interview with Real Black TV, Paul Mooney provided intriguing insights into the complex dynamics of race, reputation, and compromise within Hollywood. With a wry smile, he provocatively stated, "Hollywood's interesting. They like you a certain way when you're black. You damn near have to be a black Anglo-Saxon." This candid admission hinted at the industry's inherent bias, forcing black artists to conform to a specific image, often requiring them to sacrifice their true selves for a shot at acceptance. Mooney, however, staunchly resisted conformity. Unapologetically himself, he understood that the spotlight often came at the cost of authenticity. With unwavering resolve, he stood against the current, fully aware of the unspoken rules dictating the treatment of black talents in Hollywood. Paul Mooney's keen observations, especially his scrutiny of the esteemed Sidney Poitier, often lauded as the epitome of a perfect Negro in Hollywood, played a significant role in solidifying his convictions. Despite Poitier's outstanding performances and respect, he grappled with the ingrained biases of Hollywood. Poitier's iconic slap of a white man in the 1969 film In the Heat of the Night marked a pivotal moment, exposing the fragility of the supposedly flawless image propagated by Hollywood. In a no-holds-barred 2010 interview with Pop Matters, Mooney fearlessly pulled back the curtain on the fickleness beneath Hollywood's facade of loyalty. He bluntly remarked, "White people are not very loyal to their perfect Negro or to their house Negroes. As soon as they're not in, they'll drop them like a hot potato." These words served as a stark revelation, dismantling the illusions that often concealed the industry's true nature. Mooney never shied away from calling out Hollywood elites. In a bold move, he directed his critique at a prominent talk show personality, strongly suggesting that she harbored a secret desire to change her racial identity. Going all in, he labeled her a degree-carrying Aunt Jemima, asserting, "Oprah is a double agent. Oprah is a danger to us. Oprah is Aunt Jemima with a degree." Mooney's comments were in reference to a pivotal moment when the talk show icon disclosed in an interview with Barbara Walters that she had, at one point, contemplated what it would be like to be white.
Did you ever wish you were white?
Yeah, I did.
Paul Mooney's controversial statements about Queen Oprah Winfrey might have initially been met with more groans than laughs. But as she faces criticism today, Mooney's lack of trust in her becomes more notable. Mooney's brilliance and incisive social commentary were prominently showcased in his infamous Chapelle show sketch, Ask a Black Dude. With audacious candor, he dissected the paradox of being black in America, delivering a sly grin and a sardonic tone. He provocatively declared, "Everybody want to be a N, but don't nobody want to be a N." This acerbic statement served as a direct critique of mainstream media's tendency to appropriate black culture, while conveniently erasing its origins. Icons like Lionel Richie, Michael Jackson, and Tina Turner had all been plucked from the rich tapestry of black culture, repackaged as pop and rock stars, with their roots discarded for the sake of marketability. Mooney's astute observations transcended veiled critique. He wielded humor as a potent weapon of truth. With cunning wit, he warned, "That's what I told some black people the other night at my show. I said, don't get too fond of me, because white folks will come in and take me. They only want NGers to have a little bit of fun." This provocative assertion hinted at the industry's tendency to extract momentary amusement from black talents while being reluctant to grant them true agency and authority. Paul Mooney's filmography, although relatively modest in volume, conveyed profound messages through deliberate choices, serving as a testament to his unwavering commitment to exposing Hollywood's darker corners. His roles in Robert Townsend's Hollywood Shuffle and Spike Lee's Bamboozled were strategic moves that positioned him as a disruptor of Hollywood's norms.
I hope that you're all paid-up members in the NAACP Hollywood branch. Thank you. We felt we had to put our foot down.
In Hollywood Shuffle, Mooney took on the role of an NAACP president leading a protest against Robert Townsend's character, who portrayed a demeaning stereotype in a blaxploitation film. The rallying cry, "They'll never play the Rambos until they stop playing the Sambos," served as a poignant critique of the exploitative cycle perpetuated by Hollywood. Mooney's character in the film dissected the troubling trend of black actors embracing degrading roles crafted by white creators, highlighting the industry's complicity in perpetuating harmful stereotypes. Continuing his exploration of Hollywood's shadows in Bamboozled, Mooney's role as Junebug, a stand-up comic navigating the tension between authenticity and crossover success, mirrored his own convictions. Like Mooney, Junebug steadfastly refused to compromise his principles for the seduction of stardom. When questioned about his absence from the grand stage, Junebug's retort was a declaration of defiance.
Got too much pride, too much dignity, integrity. I can't do that Hollywood stuff, man. I can't say that stuff they want me to say.
The parallels between Junebug's fictional struggle and Mooney's real-life journey were striking. Throughout his career, Mooney remained resolute in the face of Hollywood's tempting promises, resisting the allure of wealth and fame. He emerged as a guardian of authenticity in an industry that often prioritized appearances over substance. Junebug's declaration that he was funny as hell resonated with Mooney's own mastery, symbolizing an unwavering commitment to unapologetic truth-telling. Meanwhile, fans continue to honor and preserve Paul Mooney's legacy by reflecting on the numerous instances when he fearlessly called out Hollywood and its elites. One of them wrote, He never reached the status he actually deserved, but he was right to avoid the spotlight. He and his scathing honesty are sorely missed. Rest in peace, Paul Mooney. Another one added, in my humble opinion, the undisputed stand-up GOAT, over Pryor, over Chapelle, over everybody. His uncompromising, thought-provoking comedy simultaneously cut the myth of white supremacy to shreds, whisked healing black psyches. One more person added, yes, Paul Mooney is one of the greats. Every generation has their truth tellers. It's not a competition. The truth is not a competition. Every generation needs a truth teller to speak truth to power. Rest in power, Paul Mooney. The timing of Mooney's controversies hitting the headlines has sparked speculation that Hollywood may not have been a mere bystander. Whispers in the industry suggest that behind-the-scenes maneuvers were at play, with Hollywood possibly orchestrating media exposure to highlight perceived missteps in an attempt to silence him. One particularly damning allegation that sent shockwaves through the entertainment world was the claim that Mooney had committed a serious offense against Richard Pryor's son. In 2019, Richard Pryor's former bodyguard, Roshan Khan, publicly asserted these shocking accusations. In an interview with Comedy Hype, Khan boldly stated that Mooney had engaged in this reprehensible act when Pryor's son was just a child. Adding to the gravity of the situation, Khan disclosed that Pryor himself had expressed a desire to see Mooney face dire consequences for the alleged incident.
I think if Paul Mooney would come out what the gay folks call come out of the closet, he would be one of the top comedians.
To further fuel the fire, Jennifer Lee Pryor, Richard Pryor's widow, affirmed the allegations made by Khan. The unfolding truth gained momentum, with Pryor's son eventually confirming that he had been a victim of the crime. However, he never explicitly named Mooney as his assailant. Pryor's son was also taken in question. When questioned by TMZ about the allegations against Mooney, Pryor Jr. commented, "Whatever happened in my life, it happened when I was young, way before the 80s. When asked whether the alleged situation was consensual, Pryor Jr. responded, "How can any situation be consensual if I was a teenager?" The controversy surrounding Paul Mooney escalated with serious allegations in a recent interview featuring Richard Pryor's former bodyguard and trainer, Roshan Khan. In the interview with Comedy Hype, conducted ahead of the release of his book, Everything Wasn't Funny, Khan claimed that the late comedian Richard Pryor had put a hit out on Mooney after learning that Mooney had slept with Pryor's son. Khan detailed how the friendship between Pryor and Mooney, which had endured for a long time, soured after Pryor discovered the alleged affair. According to Khan, the strain on their relationship began around 1986 during the release of JoJo Dancer, Your Life is Calling, a semi-autobiographical film starring Pryor. He asserted that the rift emerged because Paul had an explicit relationship with Pryor's son. Roshan Khan also alleges that Richard Pryor was prepared to offer someone $1 million to harm Paul Mooney. Initially skeptical, Khan thought Pryor was merely under the influence of substances. However, Pryor's unwavering insistence on having the hit carried out led Khan to discover that Mooney's involvement with Pryor's son was the driving force behind the request. Despite Pryor's intent, the hit never materialized due to a dramatic incident in 1980 when the comedian famously lit himself on fire. Khan suggests that's what saved Paul Mooney's life. Had Richard not caught on fire, Paul Mooney would not be here. Khan also says that Pryor's son never knew his father knew about Mooney until Khan revealed it to him. Since then, a publicist for Mooney has stated that there is no validity to Roshan Khan's statement as it relates to Mr. Paul Mooney. Jennifer Lee Pryor, Pryor's widow, has also commented on Khan's interview and mentioned that Pryor Jr. confirmed that Mooney slept with him. Despite the serious allegations, no formal charges were ever brought against Mooney during his lifetime. Tragically, Mooney passed away on May 19, 2021, at the age of 79, leaving behind a legacy overshadowed by controversy and unanswered questions. Paul Mooney's declining health had been evident for some time. In 2019, TMZ reported that Mooney had to cancel stand-up shows due to health reasons, as indicated by a sign outside an Atlanta, Georgia theater. Mooney's sons, Daryl and Dwayne, confirmed that their father backed out of the shows due to both mental and physical ailments. In an interview with Comedy Hype, they mentioned, "The only reason Paul Mooney didn't go to Atlanta is because he's ailing, mentally and physically. He's not what he was, he's slower." Daryl rhetorically questioned, "Don't you think he would be up here to talk if he wasn't unwell?" referring to his father's famous penchant for having the last word on any topic. His representative, Cassandra Williams, confirmed the news, stating, "It just happened." She confirmed that the comedian had no prior health issues, making his death even more shocking. Williams added, "He was with family. It was in his home." Mooney's Twitter account seemingly confirmed the news as well, with a tweet expressing gratitude and acknowledging the outpouring of love. "Thank you all from the bottom of all of our hearts. You all are the best. Mooney World, the godfather of comedy. One moon, many stars. To all in love with this great man, many thanks." Furthermore, in 2021, comedian Pierre shared a personal and heartfelt account of his experiences and interactions with the iconic comedian, Paul Mooney. He began by recalling his initial encounter with Mooney in 1987 when Mooney opened for Eddie Murphy during the Raw tour. Pierre was profoundly affected by Mooney's fearless and unapologetic commentary about white people, a style of comedy he had never witnessed before.
And I remember hearing this guy was talking about white folks so bad. And I was like, who is this dude? This man is just talking about white folks like crazy. I never heard nobody talk about white people like that before.
Pierre's admiration for Mooney deepened as he recounted frequenting the Comedy Store in Hollywood, a revered hub for comedians. Mooney held a distinctive position at the club, consistently performing last and captivating the audience with unfiltered truth-telling. Pierre emphasized that Mooney's candid approach often prompted white audience members to exit the room within minutes, a testament to his uncompromising and provocative style.
And I remember hearing this guy was talking about white folks so bad. And I was like, who is this dude? I was shocked. I remember sitting in this place called the Capitol Center in Maryland. I was sitting up at the top rafter looking down.
Despite the divisive reactions, Mooney's impact on fellow comedians, including Pierre, was profound. Pierre expressed the relief and joy he experienced watching Mooney tackle subjects that many people wanted to discuss but were hesitant to. Mooney became a voice for those who shared similar perspectives. As their friendship developed over time, Pierre shared lighthearted anecdotes about his interactions with Mooney, playfully referring to him as Paul Cooney. Beneath Mooney's stern exterior, Pierre recognized the authenticity and bravery embedded in his comedy. Pierre also commended Mooney for his generosity in sharing jokes and material with other comedians, including the legendary Richard Pryor. This spirit of giving and humility set Mooney apart in an industry often marked by competition. The comedian shed light on Mooney's experiences and challenges, including performing in smaller venues like Chitlin circuits when mainstream comedy clubs were less receptive to his work. Pierre emphasized that many, especially the younger generation familiar with Mooney through Dave Chapelle, might not fully grasp the depth of Mooney's legacy and the sacrifices he made. D.L. Hewley, another comedian, eloquently lauded the exceptional talents of Paul Mooney. In 2021, Hewley shared deep and insightful reflections on his experiences and interactions with the legendary comedian, highlighting the profound impact Mooney had on him. Hewley emphasized the invaluable lessons he gained from Mooney during their shared journey. In various roles, Mooney served as a mentor, imparting wisdom on performance, fearlessness, effectively channeling anger, and even offering practical demonstrations of what to avoid on the comedic stage.
I can say this almost every single time I was around Paul, I learned something. He's one of the rare individuals I can point to in my life where I know that I learned something throughout every interaction.
Hewley's tribute to Mooney consistently touched upon the comedian's complexity. While others might label him as complicated, Hewley viewed Mooney's indignant and acerbic comedic style as a distinctive attribute. He recognized that Mooney might not be perceived as warm, but he admired Mooney's unwavering dedication to his craft and his unapologetic vocalization of his significant contributions to the comedy world.
He had a way of delving into subjects that very few people would do, but in a way that was indignant and angry and acerbic.
Paul Mooney's memorable appearance on the groundbreaking television program Chapelle's Show served as a transformative moment that introduced him to a new generation and left an enduring impact on the world of comedy. In a candid 2021 encounter captured by TMZ outside the Soho Grand Hotel in New York City, Dave Chapelle openly expressed his profound respect and admiration for Mooney. Widely recognized for his role as a writer for comedy legend Richard Pryor, Mooney received heartfelt words from Chapelle that resonated deeply with both the comedy community and fans. Chapelle's genuine reverence for Mooney was unmistakable as he openly declared his admiration, creating a poignant moment that showcased the enduring influence of Mooney's comedic legacy.
I want to shout out every comedian on earth, one of the best that ever did it, passed away today. His legacy will live forever. We did everything from Richard Pryor's show to Chapelle show.
This homage eloquently encapsulated Mooney's outstanding impact on the realm of comedy. Notably, even the polarizing figure Steve Harvey expressed admiration for the comedian, underscoring the universal recognition of Mooney's contributions.
His brilliant, groundbreaking comedy opened doors and paved the way for a whole new generation of today's black comedians.
One person on the internet wrote, "Paul Mooney is one of Dave Chapelle role models and taught him some of the game and helped him realize his worth to eventually leave Hollywood because Paul was never going to sell out for Hollywood." In 2021, Steve Harvey offered a heartfelt and intricate tribute to the legendary comedian Paul Mooney on his radio show, infusing his homage with an added layer of depth and warmth due to their personal connection dating back to the early 90s. Harvey shared the details of their initial encounter at Caroline's in New York, a time when he was performing at the Apollo Theater. Mooney's frequent late-night visits to the Apollo laid the foundation for their friendship, blossoming over casual meals. Their bond extended to Los Angeles, where they collaborated in writing rooms, solidifying their connection within the comedic realm. Steve Harvey stressed that comedians, whether or not they had the opportunity to meet Paul Mooney, owed him a considerable debt of gratitude. Harvey highlighted Mooney's pioneering role in comedy, noting that Mooney embodied the essence of Def Jam comedy even before its official inception. Renowned for fearlessly tackling bold and controversial subjects in front of large audiences, Mooney consistently defied societal norms and challenged the status quo.
See, that's the ultimate compliment when you get called a couple of MFs. That's when they love you for real.
Moreover, Harvey underscored that Paul Mooney played a pivotal and influential role in shaping the careers of some of the greatest comedians. Beyond merely providing jokes, Mooney played an indispensable part in the success and growth of comedy legends such as Richard Pryor, Flip Wilson, and Red Fox. His contributions laid the foundational groundwork for molding their comedic identities and voices. Adding to the significance of Mooney's impact is the alarming observation that he faced a similar targeting, reminiscent of the current situation with Kat. Presently, Kat is taking a prominent stance and bringing attention to questionable practices within the industry. Reports suggest that Mooney was allegedly ousted because he consistently spoke out against nefarious actions within the industry. This highlights a pattern of resistance against unjust practices that transcends generations in the comedy world, drawing attention to the enduring struggle for transparency and fairness within the entertainment industry. He declared, "Over 3 decades, they've formed a tight-knit group. These individuals aren't just random guys. They're interconnected, sharing secrets in this era of truth." Numerous instances exist where comedians departed from their careers, including Sinbad. Once celebrated as a comedy luminary of his time, Sinbad has intriguingly vanished from public attention for an extended duration. While empathizing with the challenges faced by the black man, Sinbad emphatically expressed that he doesn't view these struggles as justification to withdraw from life or evade responsibilities. "I understand why black men feel like we feel, but we can't use it as no excuse. I ain't down with no excuse, man. I refuse to accept that as an excuse. At some point, we have to quit complaining and take what we want. We don't take what we want. I look at brothers saying, 'Man, I can't pay this child support. She won't even let me see my kid.' If someone took your car from you, you would chase them and fight them. If someone took your car, your golf clubs out your car, you would find your golf clubs. There ain't a woman that can keep me from my child. There is not a woman walking, even if I hate you, that can keep me from my child." During the dynamic decades of the 1980s and 90s, Sinbad emerged as a ubiquitous presence in the entertainment landscape. His comedic prowess seemed to touch every facet of television and film during that period. As the millennium approached, Sinbad not only headlined numerous comedy specials, but also demonstrated his versatility by delving into television, where he portrayed Coach Oaks on A Different World and took the lead in his own sitcom. Moreover, he made a lasting impact on the silver screen with memorable roles in films such as House Guest, Jingle All the Way, and Coneheads.
And I need that number. I got state payroll forms, workman's comp. You do have a number, don't you?
Nevertheless, as time unfolded, Sinbad, once omnipresent, gradually faded from the limelight. Despite maintaining involvement in various projects like films, comedy specials, and TV shows, the vibrant energy that had enthralled audiences in the latter part of the 20th century appeared to diminish. His on-screen presence shifted from the camera to the microphone, highlighting a focus on behind-the-scenes endeavors. Recognizing the decline in his visibility, Sinbad humorously addressed his changing status in his 2010 special aptly titled, "Where You Been?" For many fans, it felt as though the lively comedian had momentarily disappeared from the entertainment scene. However, Sinbad was far from absent, opting for an alternative path to showcase his comedic talent.
You know, it's like 30, 40 comics. I said, that one there's gonna make it. And I'm gonna borrow money from her.
Sinbad encountered challenges in managing his finances, particularly in handling his bank accounts and meeting tax obligations. While the exact origins of his financial struggles are not explicitly pinpointed, a decrease in work opportunities in the early 2000s compared to the preceding decade likely played a role. This decline in income exacerbated his financial woes, leading to substantial debts with various entities, including the state of California and the federal government. Despite achieving success in both television and film, Sinbad faced a sudden disappearance from the entertainment scene, juxtaposed with his earlier fame and financial success. In contemporary times, securing opportunities with major platforms like Netflix proved to be a challenge for him. Sinbad recently disclosed, "Yeah, they won't call me. Netflix? No." They said, "We have an analytical structure. We have analytics that decide who should be on stage. I told my agent that I'm going to just write my own stuff and put some shows together, and then when they come in, I'll say I want $21 million. As is common for celebrities whose career is in a slump, Sinbad turned to the world of reality television. He appeared on Donald Trump's Celebrity Apprentice during the program's 2010 season. Sinbad had known the future politician for years, having performed in various Trump casinos in the 1980s. That said, he wasn't exactly a fan, telling Pasadena Weekly, "He's always been a jerk and selfish. New Yorkers let him get away with too much, like a baby that doesn't get corrected, and it grows up a nightmare." Despite his low opinion of Trump, he agreed to appear on his reality series. The Apprentice was supposed to be a joke, picking a guy who was bankrupt multiple times and letting him tell people they're fired, he explained to the outlet. However, it ended up being no laughing matter, as he came to regret doing the series. "I should have never done the show, but they said it was for charity," he said, before going on to add that altruism was the last thing on Trump's mind. Ultimately, Sinbad was fired from the program, having lost to Bret Michaels. Speaking about his experience on Oprah, Where Are They Now?, Sinbad said that he wished he'd used the "you're fired" catchphrase during his boardroom scene. And looking back, Paul has also talked on politics, and that's when he got embroiled in controversies and his downfall started. Despite the controversies surrounding Mooney, his undeniable legacy in the comedy world remains significant. Known for his sharp wit and fearless approach in addressing social issues, Mooney stood as a respected figure in the industry. His impactful contributions to popular shows such as In Living Color and Chapelle's Show solidified his status as a talented comedian. Mooney's influence on upcoming generations of comedians is profound, as his unapologetic style paved the way for many to use humor as a means to challenge societal norms.
Obama, and Obama is half African. He's half African. That's the problem. You have Kunti Kinte up in there. You don't have Toby.
With sharp insights and a bold rejection of conformity, he dismantled layers of deception, revealing an industry grounded in exploitation and artifice. His enduring legacy is inseparable from his fearless dedication to exposing the shadows within an industry that thrived on secrets and pretense. That's it for today. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.